Hello guys, and welcome back to another session of learning Unity with me. How was your guys this weekend? Mine was alright. I didn't really do anything for Halloween. I just pretty much relaxed the whole day. But yeah, so let's get right into it. And before I mention anything, there's this incident that I just experienced where it seemed like all my progress was gone. Because if we went, so this is the archive course, but if we went to the Unity, hold on for a bit. If you looked at here, it's a whole new content. It seems shorter as well, which is very unfortunate because this one had a lot of cool things. So I think after I'm done with this, I can. Hold up, let me sign up to this again too. All right. Because here it says, since the next one would have been Talvania, I'm gonna continue from there, but I'm not gonna do any of these things. So once I'm done with Talvania, then that's when I'm gonna start creating my own games, I guess, like designing them and such. I don't plan on having good games. I just want to keep learning, I guess, until I get comfortable enough to kind of figure things out on my own. Right. I want to do that. I'm just going to save this as a bookmark. Alright. So yeah, I encountered this issue where it seems like they revamped their course, so they deleted Glitch Garden. So now I had to access their archive course to be able to see where I left off. And we're in 162 right now, 162. So we're getting there. About 14 more sessions. Hopefully by next week I finish it. But yeah, so I think last time where we left off, we were trying to figure out this timer thing. We can move the timer. We can also create an image of the slider point, so we know, or we can create a custom image to represent the handle point. But I think our challenge was to turn this into an animation. So in my case, it would be the lizard walking. Alright, so I guess what we need to do, since we have the image here, well, it's not really a sprite render, is it? We can give this our animator, right? Animator, and then we just give we're gonna go to animations, attacker, defenders. For here, we're gonna just create a different one, I guess. And then we're going to create animation controller, and we're gonna say lizard timer. And then lizard timer, we're just going to go to the slider here. And I placed it over here because it's the parent of this one, and from what I recall, it's best to place them in the parent, right? Not the children. Only the children gets the sprite render and etc. But this is a canvas, so sprite render and it probably wouldn't work here. So we have the animator now. We gotta create a clip, but lucky for us, we have a clip. We have the walking clip. So what we can do is go to our animator. This is go to animations. Is it timer? And then we're just gonna drag and drop that. It does loop, right? Yep, it loops. And then we have to go here. Lizard walk. handle image sprite, right? And then we're gonna, I guess, go to here. Oops. We're gonna click here, drag these keyframes, and put them here. So now, there you go, it walks. Then just gotta delete the last one. Cool. So now it walks. So now how do we change this value? Let me see if that's also part of the challenge. It says animate your slider handle. Try to figure out how to add an animate attacker as the progress slider handle instead of the circle we have there now. I think it's pretty much it. I don't think we're supposed to figure out how to move the slider based on time. Because let's say we hit play. Yep, it's walking. Cool. Alright. Wait, we have an error here. Set movement speed. Alright. So we gotta click on this. Actually, we gotta go here. And we gotta set movement speed. But it's not supported because it does not have the script for it. And I don't think it affects the other scripts, if I'm not mistaken. Or hopefully not. It does. Ah, dang it. Alright, that's fine. So there we're gonna have a script for it. I forgot which script it was. I think it was the attacker script. Set movement speed. Yep. It's gonna be kind of weird because it's not really an attacker. I guess this would be my solution to this issue. Is attacking does not exist. And wait, it just keeps walking. Alright, so how am I gonna do this? Alright, so the issue is it can play the walking animation, but in order for it to, we're gonna in order for us to use it, we have to make sure that there's a set speed. Because if I just tried deleting it, thinking that it'll only affect this animation, I might need to make a different animation actually altogether, is what I'm considering. But yeah, so I do need to have that animation event if I were to use the same one. So I'm going to use a different one. So we're going to create this. Create. Actually, what we can do is go to attackers, duplicate it, and then this will say this will block, or I'll put in timer. And then I'm gonna delete this, and then we're gonna go to our animator. I'm not sure if that's the right one, so let me just go back here. Yeah, it is. It was the right one. So we go to animation, and then for the timer, we're gonna drop it here. Delete that. Goes to here. So now, in the animation timer, we took out the event. Therefore, we can not worry it moving. It still moves. What is happening? Then is attacking does not exist. So yeah, let's remove this because I think we need its attacking property, and we don't have that. So here, lizard walk. There it is. Now it doesn't walk anymore. And these still walk. Nice. And the heartless is beating up the trophy. Alright, I forgot I said that. So yeah, I guess we're done with that. Wait, he put the animator in the handle. So I guess it only affects like the philosophy of putting the what you call it of having the child carry the sprite render and then having the parent contain everything else. I think that philosophy only goes to like actual game objects as opposed to canvas items, I guess. Alright, I'll keep that in mind. So actually let me put that in my Notion page. 2D animation. Oh wait, questions here. Maybe I should put in the question. Oops. So, does the philosophy of making the parent, making the child, only have the sprite? Only goes for game objects because he does the opposite and places the animator in a canvas item, i.e. the handler or the slider. There you go. I guess I should probably mention it, like what video and what course. So I'm guessing I put comment at around 5 at 5. All right. So yeah, he did create a new animation. He also created a new folder to store those animations, which makes me assume that there's a higher chance of us creating a more dynamic UI, making it more interesting, such as adding the animation stuff. Right, we gotta make sure that the frames are different. So if we hit play, we don't want them walking at the same pace, because then it'll look confusing and the player could think that there's also an enemy right there, which we don't want them to think, even though it's already very small compared to the actual one. But you know, we'll test it out and see if it actually matters or not. I guess we should also try to make it very different from the actual enemies that are going to spawn in the game area. So let's just do that real quick. So go to the handle because it has a sprite. Let's make it I wonder what color would it be. Green would kind of match the background too much. Red orange maybe. Let me see. Yeah, okay, we can leave it as orange, I guess. Actually, sorry, I'm gonna also edit the color to match the color of this one. So just copy and then paste it. So then when we can play the animation too. We can go to our, oh, we can't do it at the same time, it seems. And then we also need to change the background to something dark, I guess. That should be fine. So now we have, let me see how that looks in full screen. It's alright. Alright, I'm going to try to do it along with him just in case I need to catch up. So what we need to do, create a script, call this game timer, go to our slider here, and drag that over there, and then we're going to edit this timer. So we need the update, makes sense since we gotta update the slider every 10 seconds. Serialize field, float, level time equals 10, and then I guess seconds. So we were introduced to this thing called Tooltip. Unity and Udemy has very similar names. I almost got mixed up. Alright. So what is Tooltip attribute? Tooltip, hovering over the class it was added to. In the following script, a tooltip is added. This provides information to the user about the range of values for the health variable. The suggested range is provided in the tooltip attribute. Oh, I see. So it's kind of like a, well, this says tip for the programmer, and basically we can output a text message or a string guiding the person who's altering the values what this does and what is recommended, I guess. But if it's between 0 and 100, wouldn't it be better to use something like range or something? But I guess in this case, I think this is a better example, because this one you wouldn't really need a tooltip, because health, if you just have health here and then you had a range between 0 and 100, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. But for like level time, like, do we know if it's seconds or not? So that's what I think this is for. So tooltip in seconds. Do I need a semicolon? No, I don't. Cool. Let me see if it compiles. Nope, it does not. The type of namespace tooltip attribute cannot be found, so we're missing the namespace. But I mean, we're using Unity engine, unless I'm mistaken. Yeah, class is Unity engine. Well, oh, it implemented, but the class is still Unity engine. And yeah, I wonder why it didn't work. Oh, their tip is capitalized. I mean, not capitalized. So let's see. Come on. Yes. What is this? Level time. It's fine. Let me just check this out. Oh, wait a minute. What am I doing? You had to go to timer slider. And if we hover over it, we get this tip here that says it's in seconds. So if I'm going to edit something here, I gotta make sure that this is considered in seconds. Oops. Alright. So yeah, it's in seconds. So I guess that pretty much wraps it up. So I think what helps is that I remember saying, does it include a semicolon? And I think that's how this was able to connect that this tooltip is meant for this serialized field, is because it doesn't have a semicolon. So it's going to connect to whoever ends with a semicolon. I don't know, just I guess something interesting to me. So I'm trying to understand what is going to happen here, because I can kind of picture what might be happening. So far he only did this, get component slider, and but I guess we're missing a namespace for it, but I'm not gonna go over that part just yet. So we have this value 10, right? And what I'm thinking what's gonna happen is in our update method, we're gonna be accessing, yeah, we're gonna get an error here, but we're gonna access this slider, and then we're gonna get the component of the slider, right? And then we have here the value, and notice how our min and max values are 0 and 1. That's not gonna work, or that's not gonna work for this one, because if we're gonna have, if the game's gonna be 10 seconds, like such. Oh wait, we gotta have 10 here. Then it's gonna, and then we can have, if we increment by 1 second, then we're gonna have we're gonna set the value to add 10, or our level time, I guess. Is there a way to set the max value to level time? I guess that's what we're gonna do first. We're gonna set the value, the max value here, to our level time, and actually, yeah, and then we're gonna make it whole numbers, and then I guess in our update we're going to be changing the value by 1. So let me see if I can figure it out myself and then see how he does it. So it's kind of like a mini challenge to myself. So we have an issue because we're missing a namespace for slider, and I don't really know the namespace for it, so let's go check it out. Maybe it has it here. No, it doesn't. It needs a namespace UI. So using aviation.ui, and that should work. Hopefully. Yes. All right. So these are all properties of the slider. So we can access the max value, and we can access the value. So we do need a start. I don't know why we deleted it. Cache params are. So I noticed that we don't have to do this all the time, but I guess for me it's a kind of like a learning experience, I guess. Slider, and then the start we'll do slider. Oops, get component slider, and then once we do that, we're gonna set the max value to level time. So we're gonna get slider dot max. Let's look at the properties. Luckily we haven't closed it yet. So we have, it's just max value. So we have max value equals level time. So what that means is that when we start the game, yeah, this could be 1, but when we start the game, this value will be altered to 10. And then once we do that, we don't need this. Actually no, we can still do it. Slider value plus equals, and then we could probably create some sort of serialized field here. Serialized field float level time increment, I guess by 1 second. It's also seconds, and then I'm gonna do a tooltip to maybe just do in seconds. The video level time. Let me see. No compiler issues, hopefully. Nice. Alright, we'll see how it looks like now. Well, 10 seconds went by fast. Is that really seconds? Sorry about that, I forgot. It might say, I was thinking that they're already seconds, but we still need to treat them as seconds. And I think we have to do an I enumerator, so we have to do a coroutine here. My bad. Alright. So we're gonna have to get a coroutine, say I enumerator. Let's say, let's call this method increment time. And it's gonna yield return new wait for seconds level time ink. So the thing is, do I wait? I think this has to be enumerator 2. Alright, because I remember last time I tried doing something like this, it almost crashed my PC. So I think I'm gonna see his solution if it's anything similar. Because I do not want my PC crashing right now. But yeah, I would, I guess, wait 1 second and then update the value. So what I guess the logic that I'm going here is that you have two config parameters, configuration parameters, level time, which is the level or the timer for this level, and we could probably change it by having some getters and setters and just changing it depending on the level, or probably we don't even have to do that, since like when we create a new level we have to create a new scene and then we can just change it there. And yeah, so then we have a cache reference, we get the reference to the slider component for our slider object, and then we're gonna change the value to the level time, and then add this increment time so that we can actually wait for actual seconds, update the value until this has been met. So you also probably need an if condition, seeing if it passes, or if it's already 10, then we don't want to increment time anymore. I mean, I don't think it's gonna cause for any real big issues, because no matter what value you set, if it's higher than the max value here, so like if I do 11, it's just gonna go back to 1, so it's not like it's gonna change anything. So yeah, I'll see how he does it. So there's actually a method that you can do, or not a method, a property called time since level load, and then we divide it by level time. Wait, equals. So I guess time since level load, that's the value being updated, and then we divide it by level time to get the simplified version of it in respect to the level time. So I guess we don't need to know we don't need to convert the level time, or we don't need to do this part then. And we don't need to do this part. And we don't need this. So this is what he has. Fair enough, because this one makes it back into fractions, where 1 is the max time anyways. So I guess in a way it's kind of like normalizing, which is, I think this is a lot better. Less code, easier to understand. And alright, let's continue. Oh, it's not moving. Why isn't it moving? I wonder why it's not moving. Wait a minute. That's weird. So it is moving, but it's not moving smoothly. Let me see how his looks like. What? It works for him. Oh, I can't even look at the Q&A. Dang, I can't even look at the Q&A, which might have had a solution to this issue. Man. Maybe it's an update thing, it's a different version, or it's a version thing. I pretty much copied it, like his code. Line by line. Yeah, it might be because of the version, and they just have a different way of doing it now. That's unfortunate. Let me just do some Googling. Slider. I mean, I don't think it should make a big difference, but you may never know. I guess it doesn't. That's weird. So maybe. Oh. I know the problem is now. So we're supposed to go here because I had this thing checked. Now it should work. There it is. There it is. Now it's working. Okay, let's see that. And there you go. It stops. Cool. That saved a lot of stress. Alright, so the next one, create a level controller. I wonder what that means. Alright, so what I'm thinking this part of the lesson is about is when the slider goes all the way to the end, which means that the level has been completed, no more enemies should be spawning, and we need to wait till there's no more enemies left, and then we go to the next scene. Or maybe it could be just when the level ends or the timer ends, then we move to the next scene. Either ways. Yeah, I don't know why, but I think Udemy figured out a way to block like screen recorders, because I really want to take a picture of this because I think it's gonna help me. Like, he actually lists out like separate scripts and classes and how they correlate with each other when reaching a certain result, which in our case would be a victory, or when the timer ends. Because I think it would be pretty useful when I'm creating games on my own, because I think the design and stuff is really important. Because then, like, if I just create a game, right, without really a sense of direction, I'm gonna feel kind of overwhelmed, because I could go anywhere, right? With what I have, I can go to this, I could choose this option, I could choose that option. But if you do all your planning ahead of time, right, you're less likely to get confused along the way, which smooths out the process in the end. And I think that's underrated for me, because I usually just I just want to get right in and start making games or coding. But I think design is really important too. So basically this is what he has. Let me see if I can recreate it in Paint and then maybe kind of use it on my own. Just do window. Oops. So I can create 1, 2, 3, 4 boxes. We call it spawner class. Then we're going to call it the attacker class. Do a level controller, and then level roller. And then, so these are, let me write down, controlling our victory moment. So this is our victory moment, is when our timer ends, right? That'd be victory. So then in our spawner, this is what's going to happen when we reached the end of the timer. So for our spawner, we're going to stop spawning attackers. Let me do that. And then for our attacker, announce when attackers spawn. Announce when attacker is killed. What? Announce when attacker is spawned. And announce when attacker is killed. Announce when attacker is spawned. What? Announce when attacker is spawned. I guess it is to clear up the rest of the spawn, or the rest of the level, once the spawner has stopped spawning attackers. Announce when attacker is killed. So yeah, I guess that's what it means. Got a level controller. Listen for timer finishing. Let's just put this a little bit down and just go this way. Track current live attackers. Oh, so maybe that's when we start keeping track of the number of attackers that are left. So track current live attackers. Tell spawners to stop spawning. Alright. Enable win overlay. I guess that's the screen. Or, yeah, not no, it's not the screen per se, but I think it's a dialogue, right, to show that like you've won, I guess, level. So we're not going to a new scene. I think it's just a little like another canvas that appears on top of the scene. I don't know. Alright, so this one, call load next scene, so it goes to the next level, or finishes the whole level, whatever it may be. And let's see. Wait, what happened to one disappeared? We'll listen for timer finishing, and then level loader, we're going to load appropriate scene. So this would be calling, this would be called here. Alright, so let's see how all of this connects. So we have a spawner, so I think spawner and attacker are related, and then level controller controls these two. Actually, no, it controls all of them. So first of all, it's listening to the timer. Then once it's finished, it tracks the number of current objects that are attackers that's currently on the game area or spawned, and then it tells the spawn to stop attacking. And then once the number of all the attackers are gone, then we're gonna create a win dialog. And then once the win dialog gets clicked out of, like, because we let the user choose what they want to do, then it's gonna load the next scene, and then we use level loader for that. Attacker, announce when the attacker is spawned, announce when the attacker is killed. I'm not sure what that means. But alright, so let's keep going. But yeah, I really like the setup for this. I know there's just like one area of the game, I guess, and I think this type of like planning is going to be very useful when I'm going to be making my own games. So it's good to kind of review this part too, even though it's kind of overlooked sometimes, especially in the beginning, since like for me, I just want to get right into the code, get right into game making. I really think planning is gonna helps a lot in the long run. And alright, so let's go ahead and continue. Alright, so we're given an advanced challenge. I think I can do it. So we're challenged to implement a system that tracks the number of attackers that are currently on the game area, and then if it reaches to 0, then we just debug and say they're end level now. I have an idea on how to do this, but let's go see. I only have like 3 minutes left, so we need to create an empty, we'll call this controller. So this is a game object, and we also have to create a new script. Create a station script, level controller, and then we're going to drag that over here. Click on this. So, alright, what's first? Well, we need to keep track of the current number of attackers, right? And my current plan is to use the FindObjectsOfType and then search for attacker type, and then that's going to return a list, right? And then we just find the length of that list, and that gives us the number of attackers that we currently have on our field. But then how do we keep updating that? Do we keep calling FindObjectsOfType? That wouldn't really be efficient, but that'd be my open-ended solution, right, to this problem. Alright, so where do we start? I guess here. Cache refs, attacker, I guess that's where I mean, that's a good start, right? Actually, and then we're just going to debug log attackers dot length. All right, let's go. Wait. Before we do that, take that off. Two, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 8, 11, 10. Level timer expired, and so it does kind of work, but I feel like this is not as efficient. So, well, alright, so I'm gonna end it here, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.